Let's do this. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Sunday Watch Party. With me today is Mr. Furzel. He's this way. Yes, welcome, Mr. Furzel. Thank you for joining me today. And
Thank
thank you
you.
all in the chats. Um, So we are about, my copy has about 35 seconds in at the Universal logo.
Yep.
I had like the FBI warnings and all of that. So we're going to start at the Universal logo, wherever that might be on your copy. And yeah, without further ado, Mr. Furzel, count us down, get us going on it.
Okay, here we go. In five, four, three, two, one. Press play.
Press play. So we are watching the theatrical version. Is there anybody out there watching the director's cut? I would be interested to know. Um, are you going to have any problems syncing it up? What kind of good extra content are you going to be able to see that we can't? Um, so yeah,
Hmm.
let's hit the chat. Let's hit the ground running, so to speak. Um,
Yeah, the watch party chat was mentioning the theatrical and the director's cut version, which apparently has about 14 more minutes of extra content.
Yes. And so the history goes, the difference used to only be 2 minutes with the
Hmm.
director's cut. But then I think the later physical copy releases, they dwindled the theatrical down to about 149 minutes. And so the director's cut was still now 14 minutes longer.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the director's cut.
Hmm.
So let's go see who's in the chats with us today. And looks like the usual suspects.
Yep.
Let's see, over in Discord, we have Sith Sister, also known as Jedi Wizard. And we have Eric, we have Alex Peacock. Let's see, James Hellier's over there in Discord, Calbot. Um, Unless I went, yeah, today's the 11th. Yes, there we go. Now, over in the YouTube chat, we have Miss Swift. We have Calbot over there too. Old Johnny Devick, James Hellier, Mad Matt, Eric. Let's see, Alex Peacock. Who am I missing? Anybody? Am I missing anybody? Just shout it out.
Eric.
Hell if I know. Yep. Okay, so we just dive right into this movie.
Yep.
Um, one of the one of the treasures in this movie is Dee Wallace. Um, without there's no spoil. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but she was such a delight seeing her in this movie. Um, and if you take her from some of her other, movie moms,
Hmm.
this is a big change from that.
Oh yeah.
Um,
If I remember
and
correctly, we have quite a few cameos in this film too.
basically, this is what you would call an all-star cast.
Oh yeah.
Um, and we also have,
Sean
this was
Astin.
written and directed by Peter Jackson, which also has a cameo. If you haven't ever notice the cameo before, let's pay attention because he does show up in a cameo.
Hmm.
Um, and I mean, this is in the the later half of the '90s horror genre,
Yep.
but
1999, unless I'm mistaken, chat. Someone check
um,
on that.
I was thinking it was 96, 96, 99. Okay, James Hellier says Christopher Stone died during production, so Dee spent a lot of time traveling to and from the US.
Oh,
Um, yeah, this was filmed, I believe, entirely in New Zealand. um, because that's just
That
what
makes
Peter
sense.
Jackson does.
Of course. Oh,
Um,
Cowbot says 1996. Thanks, Cowbot.
yeah, and Matt, yes, blink if you'll miss it. It's a really quick cameo. But I mean, we're just diving right into the movie, and if you haven't seen it before, shout out in the chat. Let me know if you haven't seen it before, or if you have. Is this like a regular favorite of yours? Is it something you don't revisit very often? Um, yeah, let's get everybody's take on it.
I
Oh
do
yeah,
like.
Discord. I'm sorry, Discord lit up with the usual suspects. Okay, let's see.
I do like the kind of spooky, glowing credits they have here, and then when Danny Elfman's name there, it immediately made me think of Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a direct correlation with that.
Well, if I'm not mistaken,
Um,
Danny Elfman also did the music with the Beetlejuice.
yes. Okay, let's see. Alex says I hadn't seen it since a rental in '97, and Sith Sister, not the first time, but first time in a while.
Hmm.
Let's see. Johnny Devick says, "Oh, seen it maybe twice." Eric's seen it. Um, yeah, and so the movie has been out for a while. It had some stiff competition in the theater.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, Robert Zemeckis,
Oh yeah,
executive direct, produced. So Peter Jackson. I mean, there's a
and I
whole bunch of good things attached to it, and it probably got lost in the shuffle, lost in the fray, and then come the rental market, and then years following, it became this cult classic.
oh yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, this was Michael J. Fox's last headlining role before he went into television for a little while, and then unfortunately his disease kind of got the better of him.
Yeah, yeah, that's and it wasn't even his Parkinson's. It was, I guess, being away from his family because they were in New Zealand, and he was a big box office draw
Hmm.
still. So, okay, Edward the Black Prince won't be joining us all today, grilling for his mother and grandmother today. So, yes, it is Mother's Day. So, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. And
Happy Mother's Day, Edward.
yes, so you go enjoy it, and we'll see you next time. Um,
I don't know if this is a really pertinent film to be watching. Actually, my mother passed away just about a year and a week ago. So this
oh, I'm
is
sorry.
it's okay. She's in a much better place now, I think. But
Yeah.
I was going through some of her memorabilia, her old notes today, just as a way to kind of look back. But then when I heard that we were watching this movie, it made me think, oh well, maybe she's with me watching me watch this film.
Did she like this movie?
She was a fan of some oddball movies, and this was one of them.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
an oddball movie.
yeah, so it was a very appropriate pick, I think, for the time.
This was very big in the rental market. That's where I saw it. Um, and I don't even remember it hitting the theaters, but I did see
Hmm.
it when it came. Um, Gosh, it wasn't at that time, it wasn't even Blockbuster. It
Mhm.
was, I think, was streaming underway in '97,
I don't
or
know
maybe
if
it was.
Netflix might have just started
Hmm,
doing mailing DVDs to people through the snail mail thing right around that time. But if that was it, that was probably it. That was probably the earliest we got. I remember
yeah.
seeing the trailer for this film when it came out. I remember it really being creepy, especially that image of Michael J. Fox kind of like popping out of the ice, and then they do the title drop, and I thought, "Ooh, this is
Right.
something spooky."
Yeah, isn't that interesting? I can remember the '80s like they were yesterday, but then you get into the '90s and then my memory starts getting hazy.
Hmm.
That's when I got out of college, you start working, and then started the family. So, like, everything is just kind of jumbled.
Oh man, God, I miss the '90s.
The 90s were great.
Oh, they were so good.
Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of comments out there. Alex Peacock says no streaming for some time until early 2000s for everything decent.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, let's see.
Well, and there's the younger Busey.
Oh, well, you know what? This is kind of the summer of Busey, isn't it? And we're not we're not even into the summer plans. We might start that in June, I think.
Hmm.
So we've got a couple more weeks, and then June we're going to hit the ground running. Yeah, this guy just yeah, this is freaky.
Oh yeah, well, he just got that that look he inherited from his dad. He can just kind of have that man look about him.
Yeah. Oh, Miss Swift says my copy is over 2 hours, so I'm assuming that's the director's cut. Yeah, I think the director's cut now is 2 hours and 2 minutes. So right now in the theatrical, we're at the doctor's house, and she's just now seeing when her patient that she just saw in that spooky house was younger and got caught up in yeah in these murders. Johnny Bartlett. He just looks like his dad, just
Oh, so
wicked.
much. I don't think but the first time and his name escapes me. Chad, you can help me out. What his first name is? But the first time I really recognized him, I think was in Starship Troopers, which I guess came out like a year or two after this did. That's where he really got on my radar. But he's had
And
a
yeah,
couple
he's a very
highlights.
prolific actor, just like his dad. I want to say it's not is it Jake or Chad? I want to say Chad Busey is his son.
When I was thinking of his name, Ace kept coming up, and I'm like, no, that's the character from Starship Troopers. I know that ain't it. So
Okay, so his name is Jake. I was thinking
there you
Chad.
go, Calbot. Thank you.
Yes, Matt, thank you. And Calbot got it. And I think this is the scene where there's an indirect reference to Peter Jackson's movie Heavenly Creatures.
Hmm.
Um, and I think there's a VHS copy of Heavenly Creatures with Kate Winslet picture on it. And of course, I think he did that 10 years prior.
Hmm. I'm familiar with Meet the Feebles and Bad Taste. I'm not sure I'm familiar with Heavenly Creatures.
Yeah, it's a really odd one. I have not seen it in some time, but it's got Kate Winslet and uh, um, Melanie Lipinski in it,
Hmm.
and they play these. Um, okay, how do I say it? Like obsessed, freaky, obsessed friends um, who just fly off the handle.
Hmm.
And it is, and I think I want to say it's Harvey Keitel is also in it,
Oh,
but
interesting.
I could be off on that. It has been a while since I've seen it, and Dr. Linsky's name I think comes from Melanie Lipinski, who was in Heavenly
Oh,
Creatures.
I wonder what's Frank's deal with driving through people's fences.
Just a bad driver, and getting those little garden gnomes.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, that from the I guess the Frank Drebin school of driving there.
Yeah, Alex Peacock says Heavenly Creatures was good. Thought it was mid '90s before Titanic and Sense and Sensibility.
Hmm.
Was it mid '90s? I could have sworn it was in the '80s. I'm going to look it up real quick, but there might be someone in the chat who gets it before I do. Oh, Heavenly Creatures was '94.
Ah.
Wow.
It's funny. In college, I actually took a class or two on ESP and psychokinesis from a reputed expert on the topic. It was interesting because it was the first class I ever took where all the textbooks for the course were written by the guy who taught it. Dr. Stephen Browdy was his name, and I'm not sure how much I hold to it, but his studies on retroactive psychokinesis were entertaining, if not interesting.
Have you ever seen psychokinesis in action? Someone with that
No,
ability?
no. I mean, again, aside from what I studied in that course, extempora, never seen it myself. Is that a radio?
I think it's a souped up uh, toaster oven.
Hmm.
So, what he's doing is he's performing an exorcism on the house. So, we don't know his backstory yet.
I love that he's using holy water and a squirt gun that looks like a Beretta.
Mhm. And gloves. He's got to have gloves. Well, if you had experienced what they had just experienced, you would probably call the guy too. And he puts him in a little Ziploc bag.
Hmm.
But this is the part I don't get. He seals them up, kind of like the Ghostbusters, with the plasma and the ectoplasm,
He puts it in the disposal.
containment. And so what does he do? He puts it down the garbage disposal and shreds it. So I don't know. Wouldn't that release the spirits back into the house?
Old Johnny Devick says Egon Spengler got some competition. I don't think Egon's got to worry too about this guy.
But
Oh,
that does. It reminds me of Ghostbusters.
yeah.
And there's a lot of really cool effects in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I know a lot of them were CGI'd, but a lot of them were were filmed with the actors and then transposed as ghosts. I thought very effectively.
Hmm. Alex, if you're referring to Ghostbusters Afterlife, I don't think we need to mention that film ever again. It's just not. It just for my money just doesn't connect at all. Totally tonal shift away from the originals. It's might as well be a different movie.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting, I think, because they wanted to somehow connect it to the original. So
Hmm.
I get why they did it the way they did.
Hmm.
But you're right. I think too much time had passed. They tried to think of something original, so they brought his granddaughter into it, his family. So they should have just left well enough alone. But it was okay for what it was, I guess. Oh, there's Chi McBride and and the other guy. What is his name? Chi McBride went on to be in a whole lot of stuff. Very familiar actor.
That's not. I was going to say that he kind of looks like Kiefer Sutherland, but that's not who he is.
No, and the guy who plays this younger kid, I don't think has a really big IMDb. I think he kind of retired from the industry
Hmm.
and is in the private sector. But yeah, he's chastising the ghosts for not doing the job what he's paying them for. Jim Fife, yes, Calbot, that's his name.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you.
Yes, you know what? For all the grief we can give Ghostbusters Afterlife, Eric says it is better than the 2016 version.
I'll concede that. It's not a high bar to clear, but I'll concede it.
Yes, it was better than that. And I will go one step further. The 2016 all female version was not the absolute worst movie I have ever seen. I found it almost enjoyable with the cast. It should have been a hit with an all star cast like that, all these leading ladies. It should have really hit every single note, but it didn't.
I would
Um,
agree.
but it wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen. So when you get into an argument with a ghost, who would win?
Hmm. It's
And
interesting that so much of the corporeal world seems to affect them too. Like, I mean, you
right.
just sprayed him in the face with some bug spray, and it just kind of like blew out the inside. I mean, obviously, Peter Jackson loves having some like gore almost to a ridiculous degree in his films, so it's no surprise. But
Yeah, yeah, you're right. And I think there was a mention a few minutes ago in the movie about the ectoplasm. So maybe there's this what do you call it? Ecoplasma
ectoplasmic.
field that allows them to kind of interact with the real world. And of course, the old man is John Aston.
Yep.
Um, can't really recognize him with the makeup on, but that voice is unmistakable.
Oh yeah. No, it's interesting. John Aston, when he retired, he then ended up teaching acting class um, in Maryland, not that far actually from where I live. He kind of retired here and just kind of kept teaching acting as a professor. I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. So when he retired from acting, he got to teach it.
Yep. Alex John Aston, father of Sean. Yes. Alex, do you know for sure? Is he the stepfather of Sean, or is it biological? I'm not 100% on that.
Actually, yeah, that wasn't that a big drama a couple decades ago because Sean thought and was told that John was his father, but as it turns out, John is not his biological father. And I think that it has been proven that it is someone else, but he's always called John his father, and
Mhm.
they've always had the father son relationship.
Of course, yeah. To take nothing away from their relationship, or of course Sean's ability as his own actor because he's great. But
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that was a drama a couple decades ago.
mm,
Oh yes, James, we call it slime. Yes. It's the slime. He slimed me. Um, so apparently, Michael J. Fox um, was the only actor really considered for that role.
really,
But then I heard that there were other actors up for the part. So I don't know. It was not specifically written for Fox.
hmm. Well, it's no surprise. I mean, if Zemeckis was producing, he probably recommended Fox, if nothing else, probably put a strong word in for him based on their previous work together.
Um,
Oh, floating
yes,
baby.
and I think it was James Hellier that had mentioned before that Peter Jackson had wanted a summer release for this movie, but the studio wanted Another Time in the Studio eventually won, and that's part of the reason why I got creamed at the box office.
Hmm.
Um, let's see what the competition was, because I know that it was up against mostly due. Uh huh. Oh no, Frighteners did come out in summer, but it was up against Independence Day.
Oh yeah, that's a tough one to overcome.
Yep, and I think so. That's James Hellier was saying the actual opposite. He wanted it to be a winter release, but the studio said no, we have to have it as a summer release, and they
Hmm.
paid the price.
Yep.
Oh
Yeah, I
yes,
feel like
Jackson wanted a Halloween release. Yes, thank you, Madman.
yeah,
Um,
I feel like if this had been released in the fall, especially closer to Halloween, probably would have done a little better.
so this is supposed to be a small town in California.
Hmm.
So it does really. I mean, you can feel that it could be California, but you could also see the New Zealand influences. Don't blink, you're gonna miss it.
Oh, is that Jackson, the guy with the shirt?
It was that quick.
Okay,
Yep, and it
well,
didn't really even show his face.
I mean, you definitely see like this looks the same as like Dead Alive, the same kind of setting, bunch of houses on the hills, like right next to the sea. Kind of has that same sort of topography.
Yes, most definitely. Yeah, what I find interesting is he was just talking to this guy in his house just a little bit ago, a few scenes
Hmm.
ago, and now the guy is dead.
Yep.
And I always felt like, well, shouldn't we have seen the death scene? We we never even saw how he died.
Hmm. Well, we did get that little bit of foreshadowing where we saw the number 37, burned into his head that kind of disappeared quickly. That gave us the first hint that something was up.
Right. Even though we don't
Obviously,
know
we'll
what
come
those
back later.
numbers are, can't be good. Oh, Calbot says, yes, I saw his face. He had a fake nose piercing. Yeah. Oh, James Hellier says the script started out as a Tales from the Crypt movie, but Zemeckis thought it was strong enough to stand alone.
Hmm.
That's
I
right.
could see that.
Yeah. I think they tried to write it as a little venue for Tales from the Crypt, but it just got expanded.
I love that he tries to seek solace. He just ends up walking right through Fox's character. Oh, good. He didn't knock down the funeral gates.
Yeah, yeah. He's having trouble driving and walking. Getting hit by the motorcade to the funeral.
Oh, there's Arlie Ermy.
There he is. Okay, this is a Full Metal Jacket crossover.
That's right.
I think really could have expanded on that. This is total Full Metal Jacket.
Oh yeah, he's got a couple
Yep.
of lines there he's dropping from that.
Yep. Yes, James. It's R. Lee Emery cameoing as himself.
Hmm.
Well, the reason why he pulls this off as a drill sergeant is because he used to be one.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, I remember the stories. He used to be a consultant on Full Metal Jacket until Kubrick saw what he could do, and he's like, "Well, why don't we just put you in the movie instead?" And the rest is history, as they say.
The rest is history. Well, his tour of duty as a ghost would just keep going on forever.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
I find it interesting. Okay, Alex says director's cut is out of sync here. We are at the funeral
Yes, we're looking at
of the.
Ray's casket right now.
Yep. So the director's cut, where are you guys?
The doctor just tossed a rose onto his coffin.
So yeah, we still um so there has been some time that has passed from the time he died to now his funeral, but we don't know how he died. Okay, so Alex says he's leaving the paper or at the paper in DC. Okay, so that was just a few minutes prior.
Oh, there's a familiar character actor.
Yep, he was in uh okay, refresh my memory. He was in a movie a couple weeks ago that we watched, right? Oh gosh, he's just an actor. He's that actor. He's in everything.
Yeah, I'm a little ashamed I can't think of his name right now. Oh, God. Why is the first thing I'm
Oh,
thinking of that he was Roger Predactor in Ace Ventura?
was he?
Yep. Oh, thanks, Cowbot. Troy Evans. There we go.
Okay. Okay, so Bannister was the last guy to see Ray before he died. So apparently, when he was at the house and he saw the number 37 on his forehead, he died shortly after.
Yep.
Troy Evans, yes, James, he was in Under Siege.
There we go.
And Eric says in the director's cut, you see the cameo of Peter Jackson very well. So what I find interesting is the makeup on Ray, and it shows the moisture on his face, his eyes, and his
Mm,
nose. And when you look back on the two ghosts that Bannister has playing his tricks, the young kid also has that moisture on the eyes and the nose. And I think the young kid even had it on his mouth.
mm.
Um, and I wonder if that is a direct choice of the makeup artist to make them look similar, because
Hmm.
not all the ghosts that we see have that makeup.
I wonder if it has something to do with like the moment they die, the remnants of their corporeal life are kind of imprinted on their ghostly form, something like that. I don't know. Chad, am I making this up?
Sounds good to me. Sometimes I wonder when the makeup. the art director make their choices? Is it an overt choice, or do they just accidentally make things happen? Um, yeah, just things you notice.
Hmm.
Oh, over in Discord, Miss Swift posted, um,
Is that
Happy
Gloria
Mother's
Swanson?
Day. No wire hangers. Yes, from Mommy Dearest.
Hmm.
Oof. Let's hope we don't have moms like that.
That's right.
Is it just me, or does she seem not too terribly upset right after
Hmm.
burying her husband?
Well, she did bring Frank into dinner. It seems like she's trying to find some sort of closure. I can understand that. I mean, she seems to recognize him as being some sort of conduit, so maybe she's just entertaining him because she is trying to get a connection or get some closure, but who can say?
Yeah, that could be. She thinks he can communicate with the dead, and even though he's kind of putting himself off as I mean, he can see them, but yet he has to resort to tricks to get clients. I mean, he really can see them.
Mm-mm.
So it makes you think that maybe if he just relied on that, he would get more people to believe him.
Hmm.
Ray's not such a nice guy after all, is he?
By her own admission.
So anybody that has the director's cut, we are the doctor and Bannister are at dinner, and Ray is trying to talk to his wife.
Oh, Bannister, he's not gonna like that.
I mean, she just buried her husband.
Right. Well, I love that he can elbow Ray in the face and somehow he feels it and gets knocked back from it.
There's definitely something to these ghosts that can affect the mortal world.
Right. Or maybe it's just because Frank has that connection. Oh, there's the numbers again.
Uh-oh. And
Yep.
he's the
James
only one
Teller,
that can
number
see him.
38.
Yep, number 38. I mean, it kind of goes without saying that if someone's marked for death, if you've watched the Final Destination movies, you
Hmm.
know it's going to get you. You can't
Yeah.
escape it.
Speaking of, there's a new Final Destination coming out that's supposed to be kind of like retrograde, supposed to like start back in the 60s, I think, or something, and then affect the people in the present day.
Yeah, I think it's called Bloodlines, and
Yep.
keep seeing the trailer.
Yep.
Oh, and speaking of trailers, um, if you haven't seen the trailer for one of Stephen King's old books that he wrote as Richard Bachman, The Long Walk, the trailer's out.
Hmm.
Um, it looks phenomenal. Um, and when I saw it, I went back to I have an old hardback book of all the Bachman books. So I was looking up The Long Walk, and I was just realizing it has been a very long time since I've read it. And I went to The Running Man because it's also a Richard Bachman book.
Yep.
Fun fact, the book, The Running Man, was set in the year 2025.
The far off year.
And nothing like the book. But wouldn't that be interesting if our 2025 was like The Running Man?
Well, I'd prefer not to
Oh,
get into all the dystopian attributes our modern day world has, especially in this country. Just
yeah.
it'll just
And The
depress
Long
me.
Walk is like that. I think it's set in a dystopian future. Um, so if you haven't read the book, I would encourage you because it was a phenomenal book. But you don't have to because now the movie's out, and I think the movie pretty much parallels the book.
Hmm.
Um, James is saying Final Destination Bloodlines is out now in theaters.
Yep. Never been a big fan myself of the whole death porn thing, but I can see the appeal. I can see why other people would be into it.
Yeah, I think the first two Final Destinations were really good. And so what? Bloodlines would make what, the fifth?
I think
Fourth?
the sixth, unless I'm mistaken.
Fifth?
All right, Miss Swift, I'll bite. What song are you quoting here?
Yes, James, it does include Rage, the one that is pretty much banned. Um, it's got it's got the Long Walk, um, Rage, Running Man, and I want to say road. Is it Road Work? Road Work, something like that.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Jeffrey
there you
Combs.
go. Yeah,
Chat.
and the,
Oh, sorry. Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Oh, the whole like Hitler look was his idea.
I'm sure. Miss Swift, always be my baby, my Mariah. Oh, okay. I should have recognized that.
Don't you know you can't escape me, oh darling, because you'll always be my gravy.
Chat, favorite Jeffrey Combs moment. I'm going to go with Ivor, with him playing Dr. West, which was kind of like a parody, or sorry, Dr. East, which was a parody of his Herbert West character from Reanimator. Well, Johnny Devick says, "Oh, this is his favorite moment." Okay.
So it is like in his character to do a character like this, but in this movie, I found his character to be just the oddest man.
Because he's supposed to be what, FBI, but he has this like very like social anxiety that he can't get over.
Yeah, it he was undercover for a very long time, and so a lot of things have messed him up.
Well, Johnny Devick, was he in Charlie's Angels? I don't know. Are you talking about the film or the TV series? I'm pretty sure he was not in the films, but he might have made an appearance in the TV show. Oh yeah, Crispin Glover. Yep. Yeah, he was the Thin Man. Oh, Sharon, I'll be right back.
Um,
This Wolfie needs a refill.
oh yeah, um, I think the he was also in House on Haunted Hill. I don't remember that. I remember him distinctly in Castle Freak, um, which I thought was very entertaining. He was with Barbara. Yeah, that was. Castle Freak was 95. Okay, I thought it was after. Yeah, I thought that was a very enjoyable one. But he's got a very distinctive acting style and a very distinctive presence on screen. So now we know from his perspective Bannister's backstory. Oh, Miss Swift, he was the evil doctor in House on Haunted Hill remake. I will have to catch that again. Oh, yes, James. He was also in many episodes of Star Trek. Yeah, he has a very long repertoire of work. So, the director's cut, are we at this point um, where we're getting the backstory? And he's just kind of going on this exposition about Bannister's backstory and what happened to his wife?
Yeah, I still see Combs there
Hmm.
monologuing about it, about the utility knife. Hmm.
So, there's a connection there. His wife had 13 on her forehead. So, I guess John Aston's character in this movie was supposed to be a bigger part, but I think it got cut down in the editing.
Hmm. Funny choice of words when your number is up, he said. I wonder if that beat up car that Frank is driving, does that have some kind of Easter egg significance, or did they just pick any random jalopy that he could get into?
I would say it was just a random car to kind of reflect Bannister's descent from, having it all in life to now scraping by, resorting to these tricks to get business. So now we're up to number 39.
Hmm.
Yeah, James says it's a Volvo.
Really?
It's a Volvo. Yeah, and I guess filmed in New Zealand, you kind of you can just have to use whatever car they have. Oh no, she's number 40. But now Bannister seeing all of these numbers, wouldn't that would give you a moment to pause a minute?
Hmm. Oh, there we go.
So, yes, Calbot says the director's cut has more of the judge.
Huh.
Yeah. And the theatrical, we're at the museum, and
Actually,
yep,
speaking of,
yep, here's the judge, and the ghost of death, I think, is pouncing. Oh, the judge is on fire. He's awesome. Oh, this,
he's
okay,
feeling
this
a
is a
little,
rather bizarre scene.
he's feeling a little anxious.
He is. He's feeling a little bit, oh, I don't know. Shall we say frisky? Okay.
Again, Peter Jackson.
Yep. Yeah, James, I'm sure rushing to the crime scene won't get Frank in trouble.
Hmm.
He's just, it seems to always be around when these people are dying.
Yeah. Now, chat. Correct me if I'm wrong. That the one police officer, the African American, he's Dozer in the Matrix, isn't he? I don't know the actor's name, but
Oh, I'm just trying to recall.
because he definitely, yeah, he looks very familiar. I don't remember his name, but that's the only other film I think I saw him in.
Could he be? Could be the same guy. Okay, played by Anthony Ray Parker. All right, let's see if we can do a quick search. Unless the chat is way ahead of me.
I'm hoping.
Okay,
I'm not,
yes, I'm seeing that it is the same guy.
okay. Yeah, at least my eyes are still pretty good.
Yeah, there you go, Matt. Also confirming he was Dozer.
Okay.
Oh, I love that effect. So the
Yeah.
fan absolutely disseminated and just broke apart his ghost, and he was blood, and then he came out and was able to reform. So that's probably a lot of fun if you're a ghost.
And yet this ghostly Reaper character that seems to be able to kill ghosts and even affect Frank.
Yeah, if so, Bannister, if he's completely innocent, he's trying to. I know he's trying to save her, but all he's going to do is get caught up in the mystery of her death because you can't get away from death.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a wicked flashback. So here, Chad, is a very interesting question. Would you rather know the day of your death or how you're going to die?
Hmm.
And this was posed to me by my daughter about a week ago, just out of the blue.
Hmm.
And it's one of the would you, what would you rather kind of question? Um, Yeah. Would you rather know the day of your death or would you rather know how you're going to die? So I don't know.
So is the question: would we rather know how or when?
Right. Would you rather know how, not knowing when, or would you rather know when, but not knowing how?
Oh, I see.
So you can't know both. You have to know one or the other.
I see.
And so,
I think I'd probably rather know when, just because then I could kind of plan out the last days just to make sure I wanted to do everything I wanted to do, enjoy the time while I got before I shuffled off the mortal coil.
yeah. Yes. So Calbot says the answer is nope. Okay. Johnny Devick says, I'd rather know why, question mark. Yeah, James, either gives you something to look forward to. Yep. That cameo, Melanie Lipinski, she's the officer right there. Really brief cameo. But yeah, I found it a very interesting question. You can either know the day that you're going to die and there's nothing you can do about it, and that day will always be in front of you, or would you rather know, let's say, if you're going to be drowning in the ocean, then maybe you just avoid the ocean, but you can't really because you know that's how you're going to die. So eventually you're going to have to go in the ocean. Um, yeah, I think I'm happy not knowing either. I don't want to know
Yeah.
either. Yeah. Sis Sister says in Discord, neither on both counts. You'd end up not living your life if you knew either one. Absolutely. You'd always be living, like that song goes, live like you were dying, but you would live with knowing that's what's going to happen to you instead of just living every day because you don't know when it's going to be your last. So, yeah, so Frank, there's no reason to think Frank had anything to do with these murders, but he's been there for these murders.
Mm.
So they've at least got to investigate.
Oh, yeah. Well, Johnny Devick says, heck no, stay in the dessert. I usually like to stay in the dessert too, Johnny. I'm a fan of dessert, unfortunately. It kind of conflicts with my waistline, but
Boy, Jeffrey Combs just is chewing up this character and
oh,
just
yeah.
playing him so over the top.
Yeah, I love to watch him work.
It is fascinating. So Mad Mad asked, would you rather your death notice to be delivered as a set of clue cards?
Ha!
Interesting.
Well, I've never had a reason to fear Professor Plum before, but
In the conservatory with the rope.
that's right.
So stay out of the conservatory. Yeah, James, interesting question. Bannister isn't accused of a federal offense, so what jurisdiction is this? So it would be local unless he's accused in other jurisdictions, and then it would be federal. But this guy's just itching to get him. He's itching to get Frank. Oh, I love those close-ups.
Yeah. Calbot, if the meteor falls, I think that might be a blessing for all of us at this point. But
That's
that's
true.
but that's different than the question that we're asking here.
Yep. But so if we were to all be killed by a meteor strike, we would probably have what, a month notice, week notice?
Be party time.
And then there would still be nothing anybody could do.
Sure. I like these back and forth close ups between Combs and Fox.
I think that's supposed to make us feel a little bit unsettled by this.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cruel. Don't bring up his wife. That's yeah, the extreme close-ups, Johnny Devick. Yes, Johnny Devick says it would be like don't look up without the satire. Yeah, it's like there's imminent death to the earth, imminent destruction to the earth, but yeah, whatever. Just we're not going to pay attention to it.
unfortunately, Johnny, I think Don't Look Up is not much of a satire. I think that's probably what would actually happen. Unfortunately,
It is. Don't look up. Look over here. Look over here. Look at the mayhem over here, guys.
that's right.
This guy is unhinged. Boy, is anybody feeling bad for Bannister at this point?
Oh yeah,
He's getting hammered.
he's reliving
Um,
what happened to his wife, and maybe even
yeah,
making
and
some
for something
connections.
he didn't even ask for.
Sith's sister says, "I'm not good at clues, so my death would probably resemble the movie Antics Sadly." I'm not very good at Clue either, says sister, but I will tell you it's funny. There's a friend of mine who is a big gamer, a big tabletop gamer. He loves playing games, and the more complicated the rules, the better. But whenever we want to bring him down a peg, we always pull out something simple like Clue or Monopoly, and then we just trounce him at it, and it just kind of brings him down a little bit to remember, that every game doesn't have to have like 50 action sets before you make a move on it.
Exactly. You know what would really throw him off then? Candyland. The simplest
Absolutely.
game out there.
Absolutely. Man, Ray's not looking good.
Even as a ghost, he seems to be disintegrating.
Oh, yeah. My goodness. Is it just me, or does that house look like the house that Casper takes place in?
Yeah, it does. It has that same vibe.
Hmm.
Or if anybody remembers the movie Saturday the 14th, the same kind of creepy house. Has anybody else seen that?
I, I think I saw that one time, but yeah.
Yep. I've seen it many times. It made the rounds on cable and it was always late at night. And it was one of the movies I watched over and over. Oh, Cowbot, that's a good one. That's a good gif over on Discord. Candyland with the skeleton. That's creepy. Oh, Mad says I can see the Dan Aykroyd cameo now.
Oh, yeah. From
In
Casper.
this movie, there was a cameo?
Well, from Casper, he's in his full Ray stance, Ghostbuster getup. They call him in to take care of the ghost problem, but he says, "Who are you going to call? Someone else," and he runs out. So, D. Wallace Stone.
Yep. So the theatrical cut now, the doctor is visiting. Um, oh, what is her? Is it Patricia? Patty? Is
Yes,
that the name of her character?
yeah, Patricia.
Um,
Yep.
Yep, visiting her in her house, and we're presented with she's just a sad woman. She did. Oh, okay, I don't want to give away too much because I
Hmm.
don't know if we've gotten to her backstory yet. And so we're feeling like her mom is the oppressor, keeping
Hmm.
her locked up.
Fair
Yeah,
water to get.
yep. So we're getting the feeling that she was just caught up in these circumstances as a young kid and just got swept up in something um, she was too young to understand. Yeah, Matt, that kind of her backstory it's based on Patty Hearst and what
Hmm.
happened to her when she was kidnapped.
Johnny, what did you do?
Who was it that made the comment before that the old mother looks like Polly Holiday from Gremlin? I think it was Matt. Was it Matt? Did you make that comment before? She does kind of look like her.
Oh, there's the utility knife.
Ooh. Oh, this is a major plot point.
Bob's
FB
over
for Frank Bannister. I was almost thinking, hey, that looks like the Holy Grail.
I was just gonna say it's like the Grail's leaking.
The Grail, the Holy Grail is leaking. Oh yes, Matt, kiss my grits. I remember the show Alice. Boy, that took me back. Late 70s, early 80s, I believe.
Good gravy, Ray.
So I don't see the other spirits disintegrating like that.
Right, exactly. Like, why is Frank's friends, who's been around since the '70s,
Hmm.
why is he doing so well?
Oh, that was Ray's carcass, supposedly.
How
His
about this
skin, I
face
guess.
off?
Yeah, that's a
You
good
know,
one, Cowboy Face Off.
speaking of Sharon, that wouldn't be a bad watch party either.
Oh, I mean, we could do a whole Nicolas Cage. Oh,
Oh
and just
yeah.
go off on a tangent with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, that could be fun.
He's kind of like Gary Busey, just all over the place. He's everywhere.
Oh yeah. James, I'm right there with you. I first think of my cousin Vinny whenever someone mentions grits.
I wouldn't even consider trying to cook grits after watching my cousin Vinny. There's a very particular way you should cook your grits, and I wouldn't know the first thing.
Regular, creamy, or al dente.
Oh,
What's funny
oh, James.
What's funny is that my cousin Vinny is actually apparently used in voir dire for lawyers. Apparently, it's like a great instructional piece to teach lawyers about setting up the jury. and so forth. So that's kind of a fun little anecdote for a Joe Pesci, Danny LaRusso throwaway film.
Oh, I did not know that.
Mm.
So there must be some kind of legal accuracy to that movie.
Oh yeah, in that respect, the trial parts apparently are very accurate, and so they still use that in law schools.
Hmm. Well, Miss Swift says I eat grits weekly.
Really?
And how do you make them? Like,
Mm.
I know there's like instant grits, there's 5 minutes grits. You have to make it like the 5 minute grits, I think,
Right.
to be authentic. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever
Um,
had a grit.
I haven't either, but I hear it's nothing like oatmeal. You can't compare it to oatmeal.
Right. I mean, it's apparently made from corn bits, right?
Mhm.
Calbot, I believe Stephen Colbert's cookbook does this taste funny as a recipe for shrimp and grits. Well, that makes sense. I mean, Colbert's from South Carolina, unless I'm mistaken. Grits is definitely a southern dish.
So apparently, James Hellier thinks there are no good Nicolas Cage films.
I wouldn't go so far as that, James, but I will say that his mania does kind of interfere sometimes. Let's say with his performances. What's up, honey?
Okay, so apparently, the real death, as death is portrayed in this movie, can absolutely decimate the spirits.
Yep.
So it actually did kill Ray, and it killed the young guy here. Interesting. And I was doing my pre-watch yesterday of this movie, and I got to about, I think, like 15 minutes prior, and we lost power here.
Oh,
And yeah, we had a fire
whoa.
on the other side of town. I
Oh,
live in a small town now, and there was a fire on the other side of town, and so they had to turn our power off. And no, we're okay. And
oh,
the power came back on, and the fire was out. It didn't spread more than 20 acres, a brush fire. So
oh,
thank you, fire department.
there you go. Yeah. Phew.
Oh, I know it got kind of hairy.
I imagine.
Um, so Miss Swift, 5 minute and old fashioned. You boil water and then you add the grits. Much. You cook it much pasta or cook it like pasta. Timing is everything. Grits
Hmm.
can be sweet or savory based on what you add to it.
Interesting.
Oh, and she's team savory grits. That's good to know.
Yeah. This makes me want to try some grits now.
Yeah, but I'm hesitate when I see the grits like in the grocery store,
Right.
like the instant grits. I don't know. That just
Yes.
seems
It
wrong.
somehow doesn't seem authentic.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is the part that's coming up that they featured in the trailer.
Yeah. So apparently, because she's a doctor, he's going to freeze himself and quote unquote die. And then she's going to have to bring him back.
But why is he killing himself again? I mean, what's the maybe I missed it. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. What the end goal here is?
I think his goal is because the portrayal of death, the hooded figure in this movie, is the one that's actually killing everybody. He's actually killing himself to then go to the other side to fight
Oh, I see.
the
To be a
spirit.
ghost, so he can fight. I see. Okay.
Right. And so he freezes himself so then the doctor can bring him back so he's not officially dead. Yeah, there's a good debate going over there in the chat about grits and Nicolas Cage.
You know, this also makes me think about Flatliners, which I think we
Mm,
saw in the other watch parties before, um, or maybe we didn't. But makes me think
mhm.
of that. You know, they would try to like just kind of lower their body temperature to a point where they would die and then be resurrected.
Right. Yeah, same kind of thing. So you have to die in order to experience the spirit world,
Right.
and then you have to be trained to bring them back, and so you can only die unofficially to pass over, but then you got to come back.
Yeah. Jeffrey Combs is sporting an Uzi. I didn't know that was FBI issue.
I don't know. It's probably not standard issue for the FBI, but this guy is. He's not what I would call standard issue FBI.
Not at all. I don't know. I think I'd head right up the tunnel. I mean, I know he's trying to do something here, but
Hmm.
I don't know if I'd pull a Sam Wheat and run off. I think I'd go right up the tunnel there.
Yeah, considering his wife is on the other side.
Oh yeah.
But again, if he did, the movie would be over. End of movie. Oh, over in Discord, Eric posted a GIF of Nicolas Cage as Renfield.
Jesus. Oh, in the Renfield movie. I wanted to see that, but I just never got around to checking it out.
Yeah, I think one of Nicolas's Cage strongest performances, I think, was Leaving Las Vegas, which
Yeah.
was which was a very deep dive into a character unlike I've seen him do before. It's always those light-hearted movies. We can always make fun of him because he doesn't seem to take the characters too seriously.
Yeah.
But the guy has had a career in the movies for decades.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Um,
he's a Coppola when you get down to
yeah,
it.
so
And
he's got something going for him,
yeah, and unless I'm mistaken, he was nominated for an Oscar for that role.
right?
So that's pretty much probably what really kind of created his longevity.
Yeah, and the fact that I think he just does a variety of roles and he'll do
He'll do
any kind
anything.
of
Yep.
yeah, and he'll do just about anything. So yeah, and there's a debate whether he's any good. Oh, Sith Sister said he did win the Oscar for it.
Oh, he did.
I guess I know he was nominated.
Okay. Miss Swift posting a gift from Vampire's Kiss, unless I'm mistaken. I've never seen that movie, but I've seen so many memes from it. I feel like I might as well have already seen it.
I did not recognize that GIF. I would not have known that movie.
Miss
Yes,
Swift,
James,
tell me
he
if I'm
will do
wrong.
anything. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this guy is so completely unhinged.
And he's so socially anxious. All you got to do is yell at him, and he'll just kind of back off. What's up, honey? What's up, honey?
Oh, that.
Oh, gravy.
Yes. Okay. Must we see that? Yes, because that really does go to the heart of why he is the way he is.
Hmm. I just love that Combs just gives so much energy in every role that he does. Doesn't really matter what it is. He just kind of puts himself wholeheartedly into it.
Absolutely. And these close ups give us nothing else to focus on the screen except him in that moment.
Hmm.
Oh, and he thinks he's making the car move.
That's that line is definitely borrowed from Full Metal Jacket.
Yep. So Frank as a ghost is getting a lot done. And he has been probably dead at this point for quite some time. And it is true that if you freeze, if your body is cold enough, you can actually stay frozen for a very long time and still come back.
Sure. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the whole idea with cryogenics, right?
Yep.
Oh, there you go, Frank, grabbing Arlie Ermey's ghost machine
There
guns.
you go. Ghost guns can kill other ghosts. Yes.
Apparently. Thank you, Miss Swift. Vampire's Kiss. Yes. Again, I feel like I've seen so much of that movie through jokes and yet not actually seen the actual movie.
Well, that's a good eye because I've not seen the movie. Frank is going to town on this guy.
There you go, Frank. Frank Castle.
Marty McFly with an Uzi. Ah,
Ah,
it is now the big reveal.
hmm.
Mm-hmm. So let this be a lesson. Serial killers who get the electric chair can still carry on their work.
Look, yeah, it looks like they were all crying at the end.
Yeah, Matt, this story just took a turn. This is heavy. Great Scott, this is heavy.
Great Scott!
Great Scott. So there was a little tidbit of information when Michael J. Fox and the drill sergeant they were filming, and they had any scenes together or on set together. He kept wanting to call the guy Doc
Ha!
because that's what he called Christopher Lloyd in Back
Of
to the
course.
Future. And so whether there's any truth to that, that's what I heard.
Hmm. Hmm. Miss Swift says, I saw Vampire's Kiss when I first did cable. I remember it was sort of obscure before it became meme. Memorized. Kid is minor role in Once Bitten. Yeah, I did see Once Bitten, Miss Swift. Jim Carrey's vampire movie from the beginning part of his career.
Yeah, Once Bitten was early 80s,
Yep.
early or late 80s. Yeah.
Does anybody else kind of feel like this feels kind of like a Terry Gilliam film, kind of like the Brothers Grimm?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, just
In the
the
sort of
kind of the early 2000 special effects, the fantasy slash horror slash thriller kind of elements. Seems very much like Gilliam esque. Hey, sweetie.
So what's interesting is they're thinking now Patricia is going to be the victim, or there's some kind of connection now to Patricia.
Mm-hmm. Here's a good boy.
Yeah, there seems to be this underlying like comic book feel to this movie, um, without being overtly like comic booky.
Mm-hmm. James, you are right. It does lack some British character actors to make it a more of a Gilliam film.
There's a whole lot of characters here that are a little off kilter.
Hmm. Yep.
But yeah, has it been revealed in the story that Patricia did spend a lot of time in prison and she got out a few years ago?
Oh, there's Johnny. 8 clear of Gacy. Wow. So it's a competition.
But yeah, this movie just took a twisted turn.
Yep.
We really should wait for Mother, but why do I get the feeling that something's wrong with Mother?
Hmm. Oh my goodness. Miss Swift, who's Johnny? She said, and smiled in her special way.
Oh, that's a
Johnny, she
flashback.
said. That was a movie we just saw a week or two ago.
Yeah, exactly. Um, yes, James, it's quite clearly inspired by the Starkweather case. There are clear parallels with him and his girlfriend. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I think Starkweather was was he a New Zealand serial killer?
One of their few, I think, is they
Charles
certainly
Starkweather, yeah.
certainly haven't as many as the U.S. has had.
Oh no, he's from the US.
Oh, all right, never
Yep.
mind.
Uh, yeah,
Whoa,
American. They call him a spree killer. Killed 11 in Nebraska and Wyoming.
wowie zowie.
A spree killer, also known as a serial killer. Oh, this is great, man. Dee
Yeah,
Wallace just goes nuts with Patricia at this point.
yeah. The '80s mom just finally cutting loose.
Yep. E.T.'s mom is on a rampage.
I don't want to go out being choked by the carpet.
That would be freaky. Yeah, but how would a coroner explain that? Choked by the carpet.
Yeah, I love the forensics reports. Ooh.
Okay, and she has also gone to the stormtrooper school of how to win in a firefight.
Whew. Somebody called John Constantine.
Oh, speaking, that was a pretty interesting movie. I think they're making a sequel on that.
I
Did they ever make a
I
sequel?
Yeah, I heard that. I think I watched an interview with Keanu Reeves recently where he expressed interest and said that someone finally picked up on the idea. So, I mean, superhero films certainly aren't going anywhere anytime soon. So there's definitely interest there. But
Yeah, I would probably, even though it's been a while, Constantine has been out for what, 15 years now?
oh yeah, easily.
Easily.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, anything with Keanu Reeves in it, I'd check it out.
Okay, so we're back to the trope on the ashes have to be buried on hallowed ground, on church
Hmm.
grounds to what, send Johnny off to hell.
Yeah, this the Nightmare on Elm Street rules.
Yep. Oh, that's a good one. Matt says, but why does his ghostly powers seem to be limited in inhabiting fabric? And Johnny Devick says something about the fabric of time.
Huh.
That's a good one.
Hmm.
Going back, he's going back to the scene of
Um,
the crime.
oh, double barrel shotgun. Oh,
Yeah, just look at Jake. I'd believe it in a heartbeat. He was a serial killer.
and
Yep, it's those crazy eyes.
those bright teeth and high gums.
Yep.
Oh, here's Jeffrey Combs to the rescue.
Sith's sister over on Discord asks, Jackson was asked at one point to write a Nightmare on Elm Street movie around part four, part five time. Maybe some of that fed into this.
I think he's probably right. Yeah, makes sense.
Could be. I mean, Jackson does have a history of that kind of horror.
Sure. In fact, when Sam Raimi wanted to make a Batman movie in the 1980s and was denied, I mean, that's basically led to his impetus to create Darkman.
Oh, and speaking of Sam Raimi, he was also tagged to possibly direct this movie.
Really?
Yep.
No. It certainly seems like it'd be up his alley. The quick close
Hmm.
ups, the manic camera pans, that would certainly be work well with the Sam Raimi film.
James Hellier mentions Jake Busey was in the Hitcher, in the awful Hitcher 2.
Hmm.
We won't be visiting that. The original Hitcher was just a great movie, but yeah, we'll stay away from the sequels.
Oh man, Jeff, what are you doing?
He is hardcore FBI will stop at nothing.
Except when his social anxiety gets in the way, which makes me wonder how he's got the nerve to try and kidnap her here. Sith sister says Sam Raimi and Peter Jackson would be an interesting combination. Absolutely, that would I'd watch that movie, whatever movie they put together. I feel like they're kind of cut from the same cloth.
I think so. They would be a great partner to write and direct,
Mm.
or would it be too much of a good thing and it would, it would implode on itself? So E.T.'s mom has an evil past.
Bum bum bum.
Not so innocent,
I, I like how
but yeah.
she already taped the flashlight to the shotgun.
Yeah, and this was exactly one of the reasons why she was cast to pull this off. No one would believe this mom, this innocent mom that she used to play in all these movies is now this psycho killer. Absolutely
Yeah.
psycho killer. And now I have the Talking Heads song going through my mind.
And Bartlett mentioned Starkweather right there. So
Mhm.
there's the clear connection we were making.
Starkweather, let's see, in the where did he let's see, a spree killer between November 1957 and January of 1958 when he was 19 years old.
Jeez.
Starkweather was accompanied by his 14-year-old girlfriend, Kirill Ann Fugate. Uh, Yikes.
Match made in hell.
Oh, yes, James, yes. She was Elliot's mom, not E.T.'s mom. She was the mom in E.T. That's what I meant to say. And she was also the mom in Cujo.
Yep.
Um, uh, well, she was in The Howling. She wasn't
Yep.
necessarily a mom,
She was a
but she was an
werewolf,
innocent.
though, which is nice.
So, under no circumstances should they be released, and he releases them. What a psycho!
Right.
Oh, mad, mad. How would this movie fared with Guillermo del Toro directing? Would it have taken on maybe a darker tone with darker elements to it? Or could he have lightened it up a little bit the way he kind of lightened up Hellboy?
I think it would have been lightened up a little, probably would have had some more practical effects.
That was a great headshot.
Phew.
Just got him.
I love that his ghost was like already there then almost immediately after the shot.
Yep. Full body ghost head. Yeah, Guillermo del Toro, I thought one of his most fascinating movies, and the one that I visit quite often, is Pan's Labyrinth.
Yes.
It it's just twisted enough and dark enough.
Yep.
It makes it such a really interesting movie to study um, character development, the mystical themes. Um, yeah, it's just really dark.
Oh yeah.
So now, yeah, for anybody in the director's cut, we are at the point where Frank is now having the flashback to his wife's death, but now we're getting the full picture.
Yep. What's funny?
Yes, Johnny Devitt, Pan's Labyrinth is a hard watch, but still, it is beautiful, and I
Oh,
like to watch it with
definitely.
the original. I don't like the dubbing of the English language over it. I like to hear it in its native language and just read the subtitles.
Yep.
Um, yeah, with the audio English dubbing on most movies, you're missing. in the native language when it was filmed, you're just missing that nuance of how they spoke.
Right. And sometimes the translations aren't 100% accurate either. I mean, my Spanish is generally pretty good, and sometimes the same thing with my Japanese. Like sometimes they will say things in the English dub that they're just not saying in the other language.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, and the emotional inflection in their voice is off. Okay, so who's gonna die? Is anybody gonna die? There,
Why is there a bone saw right there?
this was the hospital,
Oh, I
like the
see.
mental hospital.
Oh, pickaxe. Oh.
Yeah, why would they need those in a mental hospital, you ask? I don't know.
Hmm.
Let's just say this version of Dee Wallace, I would not want to meet in a dark alley one night.
She's almost. She really is almost unrecognizable.
Oh, Calbot mentions I think they're in the hospital morgue. That makes sense.
Yep. Sure.
Oh, still together in the end.
Huh.
Boy, aren't they a match? You know, it makes me think that Johnny and Patty ought to have their names etched in a tree. Johnny and Patty forever.
Hmm. Well, they're going down all right.
Yeah. So they think they're just going to go back to Earth and start killing again. Oh, look at that. They're in heaven. And
Hmm.
that's so we have the picture of heaven, and now we have absolute hell, I think, with all the worms and the. Yeah, no, thank you.
It's kind of like Clive Barker's version of hell.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see Clive Barker's influence in this. And a big old worm going to the depths of hell.
Hmm.
So let's see what Frank does. He's getting a taste of what his afterlife is. Yeah, Johnny Devick says the Scarlet got him. And James Hellier, if hell is CGI worms, I'll pass.
Hmm.
So I think we can actually talk about, is this a Casablanca moment? If you were Frank, would you want to, pass the pearly gates? Even though now everyone's saying go back, you have a life to live.
Hmm.
Was it Frank's choice to go back?
Doesn't look like.
So now that I'm seeing it again, it sounds like they just forced him back.
Yeah. But there is, I mean, solace in knowing like you get another chance to live, and then like when you shuffle off the mortal coil, you know where you're going. I mean, that's pretty good peace of mind right there.
Yeah, that's true. And for anybody who does have a belief in the afterlife, I think we probably all have a sense of what we believe, at least, is the afterlife.
Hmm.
If given the choice, Obviously, I think we all want to take our time and get there when our time is up. And again, that discussion, would you want to know when your time is up?
Hmm.
And I think we're all better off just not knowing. And now Frank gets to start his life over.
Ouija boards. Well, that's another movie entirely.
Yeah, way back when I think we saw Witchboard. I think was that a Ouija board? And how many movies have we seen with Ouija boards in it? Yes, James, the merry widow waiting for him on earth. Yeah, she bounced back pretty quick after her husband's death.
Hmm. Ah, yes, that scenic part of California with all the homes right on the inlet there in the peninsula.
That could pass for a small town in California, but that could also pass for New Zealand. Absolutely.
And there we are.
Yes. All right. Well, yes, that is the end. So the director's cut probably has a few more minutes. But yes, so anyway, yes, Cowbell, we saw Witchboard with Tawny Katane. Yes, just a
Yeah.
few minutes before she passed away. Yep. Um, yes, what a treat that was to see on this beautiful Sunday, Mother's Day. Um, all right, guys, what did you think?
It's a
Great
cool
time.
movie, honestly. I haven't seen it in its entirety in a couple of years at least, but it was fun. It was engaging. I mean, in classic Peter Jackson kind of fashion.
Oh, Miss Swift's has 10 more minutes of the movie.
Wow. I guess they saved the director's cut for all the very end stuff.
I guess so. What part of the director's cut is still, let's see. Yeah, because I know they added a bunch of stuff, so it still ends with the same ending, I believe.
Mm.
Um, Roger Ebert gave it a 1 star. Yeah, he trashed that movie, didn't he, James?
Well, in my opinion,
Um,
Roger Ebert is a coin flip. Half the time he's right, half the time he's way off.
yeah, Siskel and Ebert. Sometimes you just never could tell where they were going, and whether they just reviewed movies based on the movie's own merit. Sometimes I think they've critiqued the movies based on information they shouldn't have been using.
Right.
Um, but anyway, so Miss Swift, so your ending should be the same and all is well. Um, so yeah, we can spend the next few minutes wrapping this up, and we'll dive into what we're going to be doing next week. But overall, it sounds like you guys enjoyed it. Calbot says it's been a while since I've watched it, but it was a fun movie. This sister saying wife's cheese rating Gouda on a good rye bread. That is
Ooh,
a very positive
that,
review.
that sounds pretty
I
tasty
like
to
that.
me.
Gouda is a very good cheese, especially smoked Gouda
Oh,
is
yeah.
really good. Okay, so Miss Swift is at the part where his two ghost friends show up again and the deep rising tentacles. Okay, so you're not that far behind. They're at the end when everyone gets their comeuppance.
Speaking
So
of
you're
deep rising,
probably, yeah, you're less than 5 minutes behind us anyway. Um, so okay, so we are going to be enjoying the next few weeks of May. June will start into something a bit special and a bit different. Um, I need to find some time to kind of plan our summer out, and I'm still waiting to have some time. And I think I might need to make time this week. Days are getting away from me sometimes,
Hmm.
as I'm sure they are for you guys too. Things just happen.
Absolutely.
Um, and but anyway, I have got a really fun one for us next week. It just came available free on a bunch of the streaming services, and it's one that I love and haven't seen in a while. And it is, um, I can't even remember the year that it came out, but if you all remember when Quentin Tarantino first started out making movies, one of those little treasures was Reservoir Dogs. I don't
Ooh,
know if any of you have seen it. It just showed up free on all these streaming services. So next week we're going to be watching Reservoir Dogs.
nice.
Um, I don't think we've done a Quentin Tarantino movie.
I can't recall. I don't think we have. No.
Yeah, if memory serves, we have not done a deep dive. Okay, so Calbot says 92.
Yep.
Um, so that it's one of my favorites. Um, I don't, it's debatable whether it's one of his better ones, but it certainly is a very good, solid choice.
Yep.
Um, so, Miss Swift, you're probably wrapping up your movie, I bet. Um, yeah, giving Miss Swift a chance to wrap up her part too. So, anyway, so wherever you are in the world, in the US, overseas, um, you should be able to get Reservoir Dogs free. If not, you just reach out to me and we'll see if we can't um, find it for you. Make sure we can see it for free. My choice would always be for everybody to be able to see it for free. But if not, then that would be my ideal choice.
Yep.
So, oh, Miss Swift, the house is being demolished. All right, so we're right at the end. All right, so everybody has a resolution of the movie, and yeah, so thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Mr. Furzel, for joining
Oh,
me as host.
absolutely. It's always a fun time.
It is. And if there is anybody out there that would like to be maybe a more permanent host with me, if they feel like they can do this every Sunday, all it would just give maybe a little bit more continuity, just so we all know who's going to be here, and in case anything does happen to me, that there is someone out there that could pick up and get the movie going too.
Yes.
So
Please give me a break once in a while.
exactly, exactly. Oh, I don't mind doing this every week. Um, I would love it if there is someone out there that would like to do it on a permanent basis with me. Otherwise, we're just going to kind of keep doing what we're doing now. And, it seems to be working out great. And I love doing it.
Hey, I
And
like doing it too.
yeah, I don't foresee me ever stopping. So as long as you guys are here for the ride too. So, anyway, thank you all for joining me. And we're going to be doing it all again next week with a little bit of Quentin Tarantino.
All righty.
So, all right, we're going to sign off. Thank you all.
Later, Gators.